If you're a wife listening to this and you've been trying to get healthy while feeling like you're doing it all alone, I got you, girl. If you're a husband listening to this and you've been wondering why your wife seems stressed about her health and you're not sure how to help, well, this episode is definitely for you. Today, we're going to talk about something that affects pretty much every Christian family that has come to me and talked to me about their wellness. What happens when wives are overwhelmed trying to manage their family's health while their husbands are either unsupportive or just not engaged, like they don't understand what's really going on. And men, before you tune out thinking that this is going to be an attack, I want you to know this is not about blame. This is about biblical leadership and what God actually calls us to do as husbands and fathers. Because here's what I've learned from working with hundreds of Christian couples at this point. When husbands step up and support their wives' health journey, the entire family wins. So if you're ready to discover what biblical partnership looks like when it comes to family health, grab your Bible and let's dive in. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. So welcome back, my friends. This is the podcast where faith meets fitness and families find freedom and health. I'm your host, Krista Baker. I am the founder of Baker Family Fitness, and I am here to help Christian parents build strength that honors God and impacts generations. But before we dive in, I just want to remind you that this podcast exists to serve families like yours. So if this podcast speaks to your heart, please hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And I currently have one spot left open in my coaching program for parents who are ready to build sustainable health that honors God and impacts their families. I cover all areas of your health and basically build your calendar to fit everything that's going on in your home. I give you the education that you need for long-term success, and my success rate is extremely high because I am very hands-on with my clients. I walk each one of my clients through every step of the journey, whether they are traveling, they're going to the cottage, they have all the tournaments on the schedule, they have a very busy season in their maybe harvest season or whatever. I really meet any and everyone where they are and teach you how to equip your nutritional needs and your movement and all of those things that we need to do to honor our bodies and be able to serve the Lord really well, so that we don't just do this for a little bit and then not do it anymore. We pray together and we work on building that foundation for your family. Okay? So just a reminder, I do have one spot left open. So if this is something that you're desiring, all you got to do is send me an email, support@bakerfamilyfitness.com. We'll start the conversation and I will give you all the information that you need in order for us to do that work together. There's zero pressure with me, my friends. This is God-led. So if God is putting that on your heart right now, and this is an open door that we want to walk through, then we'll do that together and I will be here to guide you. Now, as we get started, I really want you to remember that this episode might press on some buttons, and I don't want to cause any pain or hurt in anybody's lives, but I do want to bring some things forward to just get us to reflect on. And so someone in your circle might need to hear this today, so feel free to share this with them. Now, I had a friend say to me recently, you know what, I listened to your podcast and I like it, but it's very geared towards women. I want to learn more about peptides and what's easy. And that comment really got me thinking, because while it's true that women tend to talk about health and stuff a little bit more, I actually work with a lot of couples, work with a lot of men. And having the opportunity to work with couples and really be in those like intimate places of their lives, like sharing what's really going on behind the scenes. I've gotten to know each person in that relationship so that we could build this generational wellness together. And I do work with a lot of women who are married to men that don't participate in their health journey at all. I've had some men come into my program, just them, where their wives are like, no, I'm good. Or they'll help kind of support on the back end, but they feel like they have their own health dialed in. And so that's happened less. It'll be more of the women coming in. Okay. And then a lot of couples together, which is absolutely beautiful. And it's such an honor. But here's a common thing that I hear from women, and I think it needs to be addressed, is one of the most frequent things I hear is that their husbands are not supportive. And not that they're not supportive, like that they won't be there for them, but they often get met with things like, oh, here we go again. She's trying something new. The husbands don't necessarily want to do the work themselves. And I talked about there's a couple episodes ago, how women are burnt out. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we're carrying so much. We're told that we need to work these days. Like, not that we need to, I guess we do. We need to work to survive, to afford. I mean, financially, like, our things are not the same as they were before. And a lot of women are working full-time or part-time, but they're also expected to manage the home, the meal planning, the grocery shopping, trying to get everyone to eat well, the doctor's appointments, the researching all the supplements and worrying about the kids' nutrition and the issues with all the kids at their school and all of the different things. Maybe you're homeschooling, so you got that on your plate. You're doing the laundry, you're cleaning the house, you're coordinating schedules, you're managing the kids' activities, the social needs, the kids' needs, like the school needs, the emotional needs, trying to maintain relationships with extended family and friends and build, these really blossoming and blooming relationships and caring well for each individual, serving in the church and the community, supporting the husbands in their careers and in their stress. And on top of that, we're supposed to also take care of our own health and somehow make it look effortless. And most of the women that I do talk to, they do this alone. That's why when I do get on a call with women, I'm like, what's going on with your husband? Is he open to doing this work with you? Is he open to also getting help? And I think women are easier to put their hand up and say, hey, I've got a problem. I need help figuring this out. And I hear women tell me all the time, I wish my husband would do this with me. Or I wish my husband would come to church with me. I wish he would be supportive of the changes I'm trying to make. I wish he would care about his own health so our kids can see that example. I wish he would help with some of the mental load I'm carrying. So like I said, it's very rare that I hear the opposite, that the husband is leading the family's health journey and taking on some of the load while the wife isn't supportive. It's a rarer conversation. And I really want to talk about what God says about this, because I want men to understand that this is not an attack. But there are a lot of men who are not doing what they're supposed to do in order to support their wives and families. And they're not dealing with their own stuff, and they're putting it all on their wives who are already carrying so much. And the wives, they want to do this together. Trust me, guys, I hear this all the time. I get on calls with women, and it'll be like, I'll start to ask questions like, what's really going on in your health? Like, and what have you tried? What have we done? Where do you feel confused? Like, I really want to get in. What do you really want to see? And then when we talk about, does your husband know about this? Sometimes they don't even feel like they can talk about it. But what they do tell me every time, oh, I wish my husband would do something like this. I wish that we could do this together. It's a need. It's a need that they have. If you go back and listen to the episode I did with Pastor Jay, he talked about the things that we need to do to unify our marriage. And it all goes hand in hand with everything we're trying to do here. we've got to look at what our kids are actually seeing. Are these little boys going to turn into what they see their dads doing or saying? Like, oh, I'd rather do this the quick and easy way when it comes to health. Like, I'd rather just not have to work out. Like, I'd rather just take a peptide, or will this thing help me lose weight fast? Right? But you show up for work. You show up for all these other areas of your life. So why not show up for this? So I want to talk about what God actually says about husbands supporting their wives and leading their families in health. First, biblical leadership includes caring for your wife's well-being in every area. So in Ephesians 5:28-29, Paul writes, "In this same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body just as Christ does the church." Notice the phrase, feed and care for. This isn't just spiritual care. It's about practical physical care as well. So if you care for your own body by eating, sleeping, and maintaining your health, then loving your wife as your own body means supporting her health journey too. It means not rolling your eyes when she says she wants to meal prep on Sundays, or saying you're too tired, you just want to watch golf instead. It means not complaining when she spends money on healthy groceries. It means not sabotaging her efforts by bringing junk food in the house when she's trying to break unhealthy patterns. Guys, a lot of these behaviors and patterns have been there for a very long time. And so we have to find a way to break free from that bondage, those behaviors that have been there for so long. And I hear, oh my gosh, the amount of women that tell me, my husband keeps like bringing this stuff into the house. Guess what, guys? That's making it harder for her. And that is not showing her support. It means you're not listening, and it means that you don't care. Because if you did care, you'd stop doing it. It means actively participating in the health of your family instead of making her carry that burden alone on top of everything else she's already managing. When we go back into biblical times, we don't look at like, yes, there's, let's say, the Proverb 31 woman, and she does it all. Really, she does it all. And she's wise. But women generally are the caretakers of the home. It's innately put inside of us. God has called us. He gives us this loving heart to want and desire to be there. But the way the world works right now is women are also working in a full-time career, and on top of that, managing all these things. So they aren't able to do what they naturally are programmed inside to do because you're pulled in so many different directions, which is why I did that episode on burnout. So husbands, ask yourself, am I feeding and caring for my wife's health journey, or am I actually making it harder for her? Second, you're modeling marriage to your children, especially your sons. Your sons are watching how you treat your wife. Your daughters are also watching how you treat your wife. I truly believe strong fathers, strong daughters. But I want to talk to the guys today. They're learning what it means to be a husband by watching you. When you dismiss your wife's health concerns, you're teaching your sons that men don't need to care about their future wives' well-being. So when you refuse to participate in healthy changes, you're teaching your sons that taking care of their bodies isn't important. And when you make your wife carry the entire burden of family health on top of everything else she's managing, you're teaching your sons that this is woman's work. I have heard that statement more in my life is like, oh man, I'm so glad I'm not a woman. This work is hard. Or, unfortunately later in life is, I wish I would have done more to help out. I didn't know that my wife was really going through all of this. But guys, that's not biblical. In 1 Timothy 4:8, Paul writes, "For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come." Physical health has value. It's not supposed to be like the hierarchy and that we're like idolizing physical health. But God 100% cares about our bodies. It's why he designed us so incredibly. So as a leader of your home, you should be leading your family and stewarding the bodies God has given you. Your daughters are watching. They're learning what to expect from their future husbands. They're learning whether they should expect support or whether they'll have to do everything alone. What example do you want to set? Third, supporting your wife's health journey is actually supporting your marriage. When your wife feels supported in their health journey, she has more energy. She feels more confident. She's less stressed. She's more patient with the kids. She has more capacity for intimacy. If you go back to listen to what Pastor Jay said about that whole physical connection, she needs to know that you're emotionally connected too. This is that part that is really important so that she can be more physically intimate and desired. And honestly, when she feels more confident in her body and feels healthy, because I hear it from the women all the time, I just want to feel healthy. Well, what does healthy mean for you? Right? She's going to feel loved and cared for by you. But when she feels like she's fighting for her health alone, when she feels like you're working against her instead of with her, that's going to create resentment. And it creates distance in your marriage. It makes her feel like you don't care about what's important to her. And remember, she's already carrying so much. So when you add resistance to her health efforts on top of everything else she's managing, it's overwhelming. It's too much. And in 1 Peter 3:7, Peter writes, "Husbands, in the same way be considerate as you live with your wives and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life so that nothing will hinder your prayers." Notice that last phrase, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. How you treat your wife affects your relationship with God. So if you're not being considerate of her needs, including her health needs, it hinders your prayers. So practically, what does support look like? It means asking her how you can help with meal planning or prepping. It means being willing to try new healthy recipes instead of complaining. She doesn't need to make 5 different things because she's got to, appease the palates in the house. That's exhausting. It means exercising together or at least not making jokes about her workouts. And the reason why I say all these things, guys, is this is what I hear from women all the time. It means taking care of your own health so she doesn't have to worry about you too. She wants to see you well. Don't you want to be well together? It means having her back when the kids complain about the new healthy thing that's in the house. Don't go and be like, don't worry, I'll get you something after. Don't go and keep bringing the other thing into the house, even though mom's trying to really make this change. It means taking some of the load off her plate so she has the capacity for her health journey. Fourth, you have your own health responsibility that affects your whole family. So men, your health matters too. Your wife is watching you neglect your body, skip your doctor's appointments, eat poorly, avoid exercise, and stay stressed about work. I know most the women that I work with or have talked to, they will tell me that they're the ones that make the doctor's appointments for their husband, which is awesome. I love doing that for Mike. To be honest with you, I'll be like, hey, let's get this thing on the schedule because that's my natural nurturing, caring for him. But he's not avoiding all the other stuff. So it's not like it's a burden on me. I want to be able to do it. But when you're not doing all the other things and you're avoiding everything that is your responsibility to take care of yourself, what that does is when you don't do those things, she's worried about you. She's worried about herself, but she's worried about you too. She loves you. She's carrying the emotional burden of your health choices on top of all the other things she's managing. Maybe she's afraid of becoming a widow. Maybe she's afraid of having to take care of you when preventable health issues catch up to you. Preventable, meaning we've got to do something to prevent it. She's afraid of what your health example is teaching your children. In the Bible, it says, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." God cares about your whole person. I talk about it a lot here, mind, body, and soul. Spirit, soul, body, whatever you want to call it. But it belongs to God. Your body belongs to God. And it also belongs to your family in a sense. Your wife needs you healthy and present. Your children need you healthy and present. I just had a beautiful call with a gentleman who has been a friend in my life for a very long time. And I'm praying for him to be well, to choose well, to develop his 2.0. If you don't know what I'm talking about your 2.0, send me an email and I will help you figure out your 2.0. What does life look like when I finally feel good? That's the level of work that we do together. So taking care of your health is not selfish, okay, guys? It is stewardship. It's actually a sign, it's a way to love your family and yourself. You've got to love yourself, right? I hear from people all the time, like, well, what's going on? Like, why don't you feel well? And like, well, or why do you want to do this? Well, I just want to be able to be there for my son. Okay, I love that you want to be there for your son, but do you want to be there for yourself too? Because you deserve this. It means going and getting your blood work done. Don't avoid it anymore. Maybe you feel like, well, I'm a man and I'm going to faint. Go and lay down and get your blood work done. Okay? Go and choose a better meal, especially the one that your wife prepared, instead of stopping for fast food. It means finding some form of movement that works for your schedule. You are not too busy to move. Stop making up that excuse. Please. Honestly, I hear it all the time and I'm like, I know what busy is like. I understand busy very well. You just don't have the habit yet. Let's just find a way to get it in there. And let's just do it gradually. You can't do nothing anymore. Nothing is like off the list, okay? It means managing your stress through biblical practices instead of just pushing through. You don't got to white knuckle your way through life. You got to model for your children what it looks like to actually steward the body that God gave you. So finally, remember that this is about partnership, not perfection. I'm not asking you to become a health expert overnight. I'm not asking you to love everything about healthy living, because I know that that's not true. We have to find a way to build it into your plan. I'm asking you to partner with your wife instead of working against her. I'm asking you to lead your family. Be the leader that God has called you to be. He has given you this position for a reason. I'm asking you to help carry some of the load instead of adding to it. Don't make it harder. You're putting too much pressure on your wife if you are making this harder for her. I'm asking you to model biblical manhood for your kids. When you and your wife work together on your family's health with God at the center, you're much stronger than when she's trying to do it alone while managing everything else. Your family wins when you step up. Your marriage wins when you support your wife. And vice versa. Your children win when they see both parents caring about their health. And you win when you start taking care of the body God gave you. Just remember, guys, we don't need to be perfect. It's never going to be. It's not all or nothing. I know I say that a lot, but it literally has to be repeated over and over because we all keep trying to do the easy, honestly, like lazy way of doing it. We can find a solution that will fit into your life. I can promise you that. I've done this long enough. I know how to build somebody's calendar based off of what's going on in their life to make it manageable. The only thing that's going to stop us from getting there is when you stop doing it. And I've had some men come into the program. All of a sudden, they're kicking butt. They're doing all this amazing things. I love this. This is so good. And then business gets a little bit busy. And then they ignore. They walk away. People that are invested in their wellness, especially if it's a bit of a stretch for them, they do the best because they know that they're like, I want to get everything out of this that I possibly can. You know, you don't got to do this in a perfect way, but you have to make the decision to do something. You can't keep pretending like this doesn't actually matter, especially if you've been listening to this podcast. Then you're here for a reason. You're here because God led you here. You're here because God's trying to get your attention. And he's like, it's time to move. It's time to do something about this. We don't want to add burden to anyone's lives. And I think that when I don't take care of myself, or I don't figure out really what what matters. Like it is a burden. They got to hear us complain about stuff all the time, all about your aches and your pains and your feeling like crap. And, that's heavy stuff, especially if that's all the time. And trust me, I hear about it all the time, but that's just because I'm in this industry, and that's what I get to help and work people, really help them through, because life is actually really good when we learn to make really good choices. So let's learn to support each other, and let's build that health that honors God and impacts the generations in your family. Let's break free from all of the other stuff, all the other lies that we believed, and stop doing it the world's way. Let's do it His way. And when you do it His way, trust me, it all comes together. It is such a beautiful process. Father God, thank you for the gift of marriage and family. For the husbands listening, give them wisdom to see how they can better support their wives' health journey. Help them to understand that their leadership includes caring for their family's physical well-being and helping carrying the load. Give them courage to take responsibility for their own health. And for the wives listening, give them patience and grace as they navigate this with their husbands. Help them to communicate their needs clearly and lovingly. Give them strength as they carry so much. And for all of us, help us to remember that our bodies belong to you. Show us how to steward them well as families. Help us to work together instead of against each other. In your mighty and glorious name, Jesus, we pray. Amen. Thanks for being here again. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe so that you get alerted when a new episode releases. And feel free to share this with a friend. I know that this message might be a tough one to hear, but I think it's a good conversation to have. And if you need anything at all, you know how to reach me. Keep working towards this, guys. Just one step in front of the other. Let's keep building strength for generations. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.